Hello, welcome Whale Fam. Happy Saturday. I'm here with the award-winning, amazing documentary photographer, Tony Corocher. Welcome. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. So I see you've had many past lives as a creative person, including being a graphic designer and eventually starting your own design agency. Can you talk about that experience and how it led you to documentary photography?
Yes, that is a bit of a long story in a sense that it goes back about 25 years, and I was in London studying design, graphics, and everything, and did Central St. Martin's, Kingston University, and Westminster University. And after that, I started to work as a graphic designer and an art director. And after a few years, about 7-8 years, I moved back to Italy and opened my agency and worked on design, graphics, and not really photography. Photography came later on as a result of working for. After 7-8 years with the agency, I closed the agency because of the economic crisis and whatever happened during 2008. And I moved into freelancing. So I worked for big companies as a freelancer. And when all of the problems started with crisis during those years, I was left with the main client owing me some money. So I decided, you know what? I have to get into what is my passion, what I really want to do. And I decided to move into photography full-time. And I took a year off. And during that year, I spent the year just doing photography for myself and improving every day. I traveled, I went in different places, and I was doing about between 500 and 1,000 photos a day.
Wow, that's staggering.
Yeah, but that is the only way you have to improve. And in professional photography, you get 1% of your shots are maybe worth something, worth to put on an editorial or to go into an award or something. And so that year was for me very, very important because it gave me the opportunity. Remember, I had about 15 years of graphic design as a background, so for me it was much easier than for many other people. And after that, I did the photography, and I decided to move into some difficult areas like Palestine and Israel and Kenya and Sudan and other places. And I did the first series, which was lucky enough they won different awards, and it was the start.
Wow, that's a really cool, crazy story. And how did you find yourself in those places? Were they assignments, or was it something that you just felt personally drawn to and you wanted to tell the story?
Okay. There is a bit of a legend about photographers going on assignment. Okay. It was true until 10, 15, 20 years ago. Nowadays, there are really a little bunch of them, very, very small number of them that are paid, but not paid good amount of money. they are just paid enough to go there and frequently risk their lives to do documentary, because agencies and everything, they already have people on in the location that can do photography with a smartphone or whatever. They don't care about quality. They don't care about um, award-winning shots most of the time. So what I did was I decided, and that is who I am. I'm not someone who does photography for magazines. I do fine art photography. I do documentary, and I sell them as pieces of art. Before the NFT boom came up, I was already selling as a fine art photographer, and as you can see from my website, there are many awards, many exhibitions. I'm in the Museum of Modern Art in Switzerland as in the permanent collection. So I already put myself in a kind of niche inside the photography, and even if I was asked to publish some of the work, I said no, because I wanted to be a fine art documentary artist and photographer. So I went, to answer your question, I went there with my own finance or my own
Wow. Yeah, so you
yeah.
self-funded these projects. Wow.
99% yes. And there is a nice big story about the project you're showing now, which is Beauty in
Yes.
Hell, which will be coming to NFT world when I decide is the right time, because this is a very big project and has won some of the most important awards in the world. So I decided to go into these places by myself, and the nice story, which is a bit, I understand that is a bit kind of movie kind of thing, but I spent a month the year before going in to get the connections with the people inside there, and frequently with small gangs, so that I had the opportunity to move around freely. Because remember, I'm still a white guy in a black place, so it's very, very difficult to move inside a slum in Nairobi if you are from the Western world, because you are kind of a target all the time. So I had to connection with the people, local people, and that was what happened during that project. Then I also went into refugee camps like you're showing now, up in the north near Sudan, and very, very hard places, and it's very difficult to. You see, like a picture you're showing now, this one is not something. Some people ask me, oh, okay, you ask the girl to pose for you. No, if you go into these places, you don't have the time to ask for anything. What is in front of you, you have to get it, and you don't have. It's just seconds all the time. So a big experience, really.
Yeah, I imagine, being an outsider coming into these spaces, like you want to show respect and know that you are showing the truth of what the situation is without putting too much of your own preconceived ideas about what it's like for them. How do you accomplish that as a documentary photographer?
That is a very good question, and is something that is it takes time to master and to learn, because you have to get a connection with the people, and you have to make them feel like it is the same. You are the same. So some things I was doing which may seem, um, I would, I don't like to say stupid, but a bit like, I was going there, I was staying with them, I was telling them, okay, look, guys, I would like to do this. I would like to see what you are doing, and uh, take a pictures of what you're doing, your work, what you are. So let's get a beer together, and let's stay together and speak together. And another thing I did with them, I was, at the time I used to smoke also, so I was rolling up cigarettes with them and staying there with them, and spend maybe 2-3 hours with them before even thinking about taking a shot. And I also, did something which I think was very, very appreciated by the people there. I first, let's say, first week I spent inside the slum, never during the night, because I will never get out alive. No way. But the first week I spent in there, I took some photos, and I went back into Nairobi, in downtown, and I got them printed and brought them back to them.
So they got to have a piece of the art that you created through sharing their experience.
Yeah, but not just the art, but for them was like, oh wow, thank you that you come back. Remember, these are people that live with $1-2 a day. Is just completely crazy. The level of sickness and whatever is just staggering, and you need to build relationships with the people so that you can move around somehow, and you need to go, you have to be there to understand what I'm saying is extremely difficult, and you need to have people with you from the place, or you will not get in. It's impossible.
And it's not just the connection to be able to get in, but developing that the authentic connection with the human connection with the people that you're documenting and the lives that you're documenting. It sounds like it. Yeah, I mean, even as a witness, like, what is it like for you to see these places, and what are you hoping to achieve in sharing these stories through your art?
That goes back to the title of a series.
Beauty in Hell.
Beauty in Hell. Yeah, beauty in hell, beauty over drama. Why that? Because I remember that this is a project that is not finished. It will go on for all of my life. I did parts of it also in Vietnam and in other places. But why was this project born? It was born because I was kind of fed up with the way drama was shown on TV all the time. So drama is like, okay, there is drama. If there is drama, there is news, there is popularity. Let's do drama all the time. And I didn't like that, because these people are not to do that. So I decided that I will show the reality, and this is not easy at all. I will show the reality of a place, but the main subject or the first impression you get is, wow, that's beautiful. And then you look at the rest behind, the layers behind it, and you see all the mess, all the craziness that is inside the place. So if you can go back a second to the Beauty in Hell project, the black and white one, to the main picture, which is the first one with a girl. Yeah, if you see this one, this won so many awards. Is incredible in 2013. But the first impression is like, wow, what a beautiful girl! Is nice, beautiful smile. Remember, I had maybe 2-3 seconds to do this shot because the girl came running to me, and I just went down on my knees to take a shot and moved around to compose, and it was gone. And behind you see dead man, and you can see the indifference of the people walking by, and the slum and the ground, which is just a crazy place. So the main thing in the beauty now is show the drama through beauty, and that is not an easy thing to do, I can tell you that.
No, and even this photo, when I first saw it, you know, obviously the first thing I see is, you know, looking into this little girl's eyes, and it took me a second to see everything else that was going on, and I think, that this one photo really encapsulates this beauty in hell idea, that all the time, all over the planet, there's strife at the same time that there's joy and beauty and life. And there was a comment in our stream that somebody said your black and white photography is amazing. This is a very beautiful photograph. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes, and you know, there is a reason also. If you're into photography, if you're professional photographer, you know that black and white photography is not done from a black and white shot on the camera. You do a color photography and then you edit it. This is the new way of doing it. And there was a reason why I decided to get this as black and white. And there is the contrasts that you get with the colors. If you think that the dress of a girl was a kind of pink, fluorescent. Do you say fluorescent?
Yes, fluorescent. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just crazy. It was blowing up on my face, and there is a lot of work into getting a series done. You know, maybe you get 1,000, 2,000 shots, and
wow,
out of that you get maybe 10 photos, which are worth the project or the idea. And is something that will be going on. And the beautiful thing about this is you should see it live on a print, a big print, because there are many little things in this picture, some things that you need to see in an enlargement.
Yeah, that's an incredible amount of photographs that you have to take before you can even get the 10 that that you can use and share. It must take a tremendous amount of patience to do that.
Yeah, you know, we are still lucky because everything changed from analog photography to digital photography. So now we have the opportunity to take many more shots and also get them. This other one is a crazy photo. This one. These are called the street children. The guy you see in the foreground is 17 years old. Yeah.
He doesn't look 17.
No. He's full of scars from acids on his arms, and the other ones are something like 13, 14. and they are some of the most dangerous gangs in Nairobi. And I was lucky enough to get 30 of them together. Yeah, just another shot, but was got some awards and some difficult situations. But if you can connect with them, you see that these people, for they have big problems, obviously, but they are still human beings. They are still people that have a soul, a way, and they will, if you interact in the right way, they will stay with you, which was is not the shot, is not the photo. The best thing was having the experience to experience this kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems like the connections that you make and gaining understanding of what it's like to be any of the people that are in your photographs. Sounds like that's really the most rewarding aspect. I don't want to speak for you, but that was going to be one of my questions.
Absolutely. The shot is a consequence of the relationship that I built up with them, and the ability, and also the luck and the possibility to meet with them, which is not something that is that easy to do. So an incredible experience. But then there are also other photos which have all a different story. Each one of them, you see, there is a kind of technique. If you see my photography, you can see that everything from the foreground to the farthest part of the background is in focus. This is a technique in photography, and it's very hard to master, because you have very little time to take the shot, and the camera, as the diaphragm is closed, so is extremely difficult. That is the way I do my photography. Okay, you will always see everything in focus, or nearly always in my shots, so that I can tell a story in a single shot. There are different ways of doing photography, different photographers. Maybe you do a series and each shot tells a bit of it. And there are other photographers who, in a single shot, tell a story. That is, to me, maybe not to someone else, very difficult to do, because you need technique and connections and millions of things to just combine together. So
yeah, I think people don't realize that we use digital photography now, which kind of does some of the thinking for you, or people are just using their phones, but they don't realize using a film camera, it takes patience and skill, and it's not easy even when you have the patience and skill. The lighting has to be correct, the depth of field, the distance.
The same thing, sorry if I interrupt, same thing is true with digital photography. It's exactly the same. Depth of field, and to get everything in focus all the time is extremely difficult. The good thing about digital photography is that you can try and learn, and you don't pay.
It doesn't cost more for more film.
Yeah, you can just go on. That is why I took, before I came out with these photos and award-winning photos, I took a year just to do shots, photography, and learning. And I was lucky enough to have graphic design and art director background. So composition for me is like natural. I don't have to try to compose because it comes nearly automatic to my eyes. And but it's something very lucky I have it.
Yeah, having that eye for design is it's like you can learn what the rules are, or you can learn the traditions, but it's not. It's another thing when it just comes naturally. It's yeah. And someone asks in our chat, what led you to dedicate yourself specifically to documentary photography?
Okay, it's a good question, and it's not just documentary photography. I do documentary photography and I do fine art photography. Like the last piece that was sold on Maker's Place is part of a series that I'm doing now on Wabi-Sabi, which is this one is street photography and is fine art. So to answer the question is I do documentary photography, but it takes so much out of you when you go into these places that you come back and you need to do something else. At least I do, to get my energy back, to get a bit of I don't want to say positivity, but to get some, when you go into really bad situations, you come out with very bad feeling also because the energy or whatever is very tough. And so I remember when I was doing the Beauty Nail project, it took about 2 years. I was taking a 1 month every year, more or less. I was going to Japan. And I was doing fine art photography. I was doing something completely different, relaxed. I was studying the subjects, I was studying the perspective, the depth of field, and lots of other things. And this helped each other of the two styles, because I could do something relaxed and maybe improve my technique in a very safe place like Japan is. And at the same time, I could go back and put that learning inside a dangerous situation. So it did work very well for a couple of years, 2-3 years, the mixing of the two, and I really need to do both of them or I will not do any of them.
Right. And we have another question. We have a couple of questions about your documentary work. They're asking, what has been the most difficult experience that you've had to live doing documentary photography?
The most difficult experience. Oh, probably it was not the slums in Nairobi or some places in Asia which are very dangerous. Probably was the beginning of my experience as a documentary photographer when I moved out of graphic design and my agency and went with some architects to Palestine and near the Gaza Strip, and it was my first experience, and it was not easy because I didn't connect very well with the architects because they wanted to do something I didn't agree with. And so I left them and I went by myself around Ramallah, Jericho, and other towns, which were not a good place to
Yeah,
go.
right.
It was not the brightest idea. Yeah.
But you survived it and
Oh,
lived to tell it. Yeah, yeah,
Maybe I can tell you one thing. Wherever you go, whatever you do, uh, uh, remember, people are human beings. It's very difficult, but they will put you into trouble if you don't go into war zones, which is different. But if you go into cities, people are people, whatever religion, whatever color, whatever it is, and the the bad ones are very rare everywhere. So is not. But for someone going the first time, it was like, wow, what's happening here? But incredible experiences, incredible uh, learning. It was unbelievable. I have a lot of stories I can tell you, but it will take time. But just to explain you, I'll tell you a quick one for the person who asked this very good question. I was going to take some photos of a school they were building, the architects in Palestine. And I decided to go around the village, and I walked up the hill, and I heard from behind this guy, very old guy with a big beard, white beard, screaming in Islamic, I don't know what, just screaming at me. And I said, okay, no, I'm not doing anything. And then he came to me and someone came to translate it, and they said, no, don't. He's not telling you not to do something. Just don't walk up the hill, because there are the Israelis ready to shoot you.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
On the
Yeah,
other
that's
side.
like really heavy. Yeah, that's why it's good to it's good that someone was able to translate for you then too. It sounded like they might be mad at you about something.
Yeah, I thought he was mad at me, and he was not, I was like, wow, I didn't do anything. He was just trying to tell me. So people are good everywhere. That is what I say. And it's not so easy to get in big troubles.
Yeah, and that's a really great takeaway to learn from all the places that you've been to and like tough situations that you see people living, is that even with all of that, most of humanity is essentially good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is. It's not a way of saying. I'm trying to get more light in here, but well, whatever.
Oh yeah. Before I get into asking you how you got into the world of NFTs, do you want to talk about why you're in a trailer right now?
Oh, okay. Is a bit of a story. I live near Venice. I have a house, and but I'm a bit of a nomad as a person, and also I'm a photographer. So I go around and take pictures. So I put the two things together. And about 4 years ago, I decided to move into a trailer and go around all the time. So now I'm around Venice because we are in full lockdown right now. Is a red zone. We cannot go anywhere. And I'm trying to get some of my collectors from the NFT to write me an email where they commission me to go into Venice to do a piece about Venice. So that's why I'm going around in a trailer, because I'm very near Venice right now, about 20 minutes, and I'm just waiting to get the confirmation. So if I have an email from someone asking me to do a job, I'm allowed to go in.
Oh wow. Well, I hope you get that email soon and that you can go to Venice safely. Yeah. And this was something that you were commissioned to do. to take
No,
shots in?
it's not. Okay, I'm not commissioned. I asked the collectors. I told them I need to have this email. It's not asking you to buy the piece. Just ask me to do the job. You know, so I
I
can do it.
understand.
If you want to collect it, if you want to buy it, you buy it. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But at least because I've never seen in my life Venice without people. It's just
Right.
completely.
Yeah, it's a
So
huge tourist attraction. So I can
yeah,
imagine during lockdown, it's
it's empty.
nobody's there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So I was thinking to combine, um, you know, like more or less the artwork you're showing now, to make something about Venice in a different way. And it might be something coming out in a few months because now I'm also working on a few other pieces.
So, that being said, you've been to all these places and have had all these experiences, but how did it lead you to the world of crypto art and NFTs?
Yeah, I've always been interested in new technologies, and I had to keep myself up to date with everything that was happening. So um, actually, I was led into the NFT world because I got in about 3-4 months ago in November. Um, I knew about it before, but I didn't understand it. I was like, is this real or is it not? I don't get it. I did get it. I was not sure, but so I decided to get in, and I did that because since about 10 years ago, I was trying to. I was waiting for something like digital art to become something that could be sold in a way that a print, signed, and with a hologram and certified could be. But there was no way. Now with blockchain, this can be done, and it was amazing because I could do all what I wanted to do. For example, the piece you're showing, you see that all the different layers do change, but each single image inside here is from the same place because I took what I told you before, more than 1,000, 2,000 pictures. It doesn't matter. So now I have such an amount of of material I can use over the last 10 years that I think I can make artworks for the next 2 years without even going out doing anything more if I want. But that's not what I want to do. But I could make something. This was the first piece, which was amazing because I built it, I put it out, and I have to thank really async art for who they are, what they do, and the way they do. And they are, to me, right now, the best team out there. They follow you, they help you, they tell you, they are very, very good. And the programmable thing was incredible for what I do because I could just create something, and this was a triptych, and everything worked, and in a few hours it was sold. Same happened to the second piece. It went into the auction, and again it was sold immediately, but just after this one, after the auction. And for this one, I did something that was not done before. I decided to create a bundle, which is not available on async, and to gift the layers to the one who bought the master, which is probably what I will do in the future again. And also I included a fine art print of the highest quality, museum quality, where the owner of the art piece can choose which combination he likes more, and I will get a fine art print, one of one copy, sent to him, which is something nice.
Yeah, that's nice. Like, I think there's, as people who are more from the traditional art world or who are like new to NFTs, and I think just it's a human thing in general to want something physical, something that you can touch and see in your house. That's really cool that you're including that, the fine art print along with the digital piece. But this is really cool how each piece of the art changes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love these.
But you, I spoke after selling the first piece on async. I spoke with a collector and some other people, and they told me, "Well, this is great. I love it. And but why I buy the master and I cannot change it?" And I said, "Yeah, that was my question at the same time. I could have a bundle, or I could sell them with layers and whatever." So I said, "Yeah, next piece, I will put it all together in the same part, the same way." And also, I wanted people to bridge between the traditional and the new one, because I'm still a fine art photographer and I still sell prints, and I wanted them to have, and it was a great success with a collector, because he told me he loves it and he wants me to help him to decide what is better and blah blah blah. So it was a nice connection, and I'm planning to do this kind of thing, because something that many new artists that come up, they don't have, because they are new, a big background, so they don't know that much about traditional art. But to include what is physical, as you said, with what is digital is extremely important, because they combine, how do you say, complement each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they complement each other.
Yeah, and I like that, especially for photography. Then, also the fact that my art is kind of reflecting reality and not surreal. It's not illustration, it's not 3D, is what you see is what I create. A fine art print is a good thing to put it together.
And I see that both of these pieces on async, one sold for 7.5 ETH,
Yeah.
and the other for 5.5 ETH. What was that like for you, like being in this space only since November, to have that happen?
I was a bit like, wow, this is a bit amazing, because people start obviously from lower prices, and I decided from the beginning to get an advocate to work with from Async, which is Sam Brookman. Excellent guy, excellent, really. And we developed a plan and we worked together. And he said, you need, and I also wanted that, to start from a certain level, because of what you've done before. And it was a good surprise, a good, I didn't know if I was doing the right or wrong thing, but I at the same time, I couldn't start from much lower prices because of my previous background. So it was a very good feeling to 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 get collectors understand what I was proposing. And now also, I got on Maker's Place. It took me ages. I was going mad with Maker's Place. I love them, but I was going mad there. But they got me in, and this is the animated version of the same piece, which is not to be confused with I'm doing the same art. It's not. This took me nearly 2 months to complete.
Oh wow!
It was
Someone
completely crazy.
Yeah, we had a question that I was waiting to ask. How long does it take you to create a gallery like this? So there's your answer. 2 months. That's a lot. I mean,
between this one and between the async piece, it took me two and a half months to put it together. It's 18 photos that need to meld together perfectly, and in perspective, in depth of field, in subject, in everything. It was crazy, but I was very, very satisfied with the final piece, no matter the sale, the price and everything, but I was very, very happy with the final result. And yeah, putting everything together is a lot of work, really. I don't know. I see people that create things very quickly, and good for them. It doesn't work for me.
yeah, I mean, good things take time, things that are,
Yeah.
I think so. I believe that too. Sometimes things are just done quickly and it's magic, but these kinds of things take thought, having all of those different shots and finding a way to have a story happen with each combination and have it, and have the composition make sense. That's no easy feat.
No,
Yeah.
but I was a bit lucky because these series were already created before. I already had the series done, so the story was already done. The Soul of Japan, Profound Tranquility or Modern Loneliness is not a title I created for this piece. It was featured on Lens Culture, which is one of the biggest photography networks in the world. So the story was first featured there 3-4 years ago, something like that. And then it was a bit easier because everything was about street photography, everything was together, but it still took a long time.
Yeah, but I think the finished product was definitely worth
Thank you.
the work. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm like mesmerized by it while I'm listening to you.
Thank you.
So what do you want to talk a little bit about what the Wabi-Sabi series is about?
Yeah, the Wabi-Sabi Series is here. We are on. This is another kind of thing I should tell you about because these are the fragments from the async piece. The async piece has 216 possibilities, combinations, okay? It's made up of 18 photos which can combine. So 18 photos, which is one on the left, one on the middle, one on the right. So 3 photos, 18 photos and 3 in each piece makes 6 compositions, okay? But the 6 compositions that I decided are the ones I want, which are these ones you're showing out of the 216. And then I decided to animate each one of them in a cinematograph way, which is different from the other animation. and these are sold for a cheap price, like 0.1 ETH, so that everyone who wants something from me can collect one of the fragments. And this connects to my editions for the fine art prints. Okay, so I have a single 101 piece in photography in fine art print. Then I have the edition of 5, then I have edition of 7, smaller editions, and then I have the open edition. I'm trying to replicate the same thing for the NFT, which has not been done yet. Okay, some people like very big names, Trevor Jones and others, they did like the bull, the Picasso bull in different editions. Okay, so it's kind of the same way, but each artist, I believe, needs to create his or her own edition that will help them a lot in establishing themselves, because people will recognize what they are doing. And yeah, Wabi-Sabi, going back to Wabi-Sabi, Wabi-Sabi is a concept in Japan, which is one of main is the main aesthetic principle in Japanese culture, which is that what is not perfect, what is not completely right all the times, can be even more beautiful than what is. So
I love that.
Yeah, the classical example is you probably have seen it, the bowl which was broken and it was put together with a gold paste or whatever you call it, and it's more beautiful because it has scars or something. That is what Wabi-Sabi is. It's typical of Japanese culture, and is something you need to get in to understand it. So this piece, the Solo Japan, both the async or the animated version, you will see that broken things work together very well, and that was the main point. That is why
that.
it took it so long.
It's a really beautiful concept too. Just that, yeah, the imperfections or things that are broken are still beautiful, and that we can find beauty in that. I love that so much.
The Japanese culture is just incredible. I love it.
And I also like that you created that series so that your work is accessible to people that maybe didn't have a couple of ETH to spend on async too. Yeah,
that was my idea, and I hope it will be understood, because I had some people telling me, oh, you're replicating the same work. No, it's not the same work. It's another piece. It took me a completely different artwork, and I did it so that it, as you said, it could give options to everyone, and I hope it will be understood.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm
let me just get you more light. No more light.
I forget it's getting dark where you are now. It's only it's just a little past noon for us here.
I know, but give me a second.
Sure thing.
It should be. Oh, come on. Oh, it's not doing it. Well. Whatever, it doesn't do it. It doesn't matter.
Well, we can still see you, so that's good. Yeah. And so, well, one technical question that I want to ask before I forget that we have from the chat is, what kind of camera are you using, or do you have multiple?
Oh, no, not really. I don't actually mind any camera. There are a couple, but I love them for what they do. But For example, I love Canon, but I don't like the wheel on the back. Is something I don't really find myself with. So I've been working with Nikon or Nikon, I don't know how you pronounce it, for the first 6-7 years with the main big cameras, D4, D5, and D800, and all of that. And about 3 years ago, I moved completely into micro four thirds Olympus, because I can tell you one thing: when you do what I do, which is street photography, which is reportage and documentary, you don't want to go around with 10 kilos. You
Right,
don't want
right.
10, 15 kilos. You want to go around with 3-4 kilos, and you want to be light, and you want to have quality. So I really believe the camera doesn't make any difference whatsoever. It doesn't. The quality is so much right now that you can use any camera you want if you know what you are doing and how to shoot. You don't need, it doesn't matter, even an iPhone, or you know what the lenses are, and you know what you can do. The quality is seriously very high all the time. So I actually right now my full gear is Olympus, and I'm about to buy the new one. So I stick to that kind. It's very easy to go around with it. And also, you don't look like
A tourist.
no, you look more like a tourist and not like a professional sometimes, because you don't have a big, huge thing. And that is very helpful when you do what I do. People don't even, they don't look at you like some kind of professional guy. So that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it gives you, it helps people see like you, like, yes, you're a professional, but you're trying to actually connect and want to tell their story truthfully. And I think if you give yourself, if you appear to be like you're from the media or something like that, I think it would make people not really trust you as much.
No,
Maybe.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And as you said, the most important thing is to connect with people in a way that they feel like you are one. I cannot say one of them, but you are one that wants to stay with them. And obviously, I go around by myself. I don't go with an entourage of photographers or people working for me or whatever. So that changes everything completely. Yeah.
So, if there was anything, is there anything that you would tell photographers who are new to the NFT space? Like, what advice would you give to them that you wish you had when you started?
In the NFT space, is not that easy if you want to just. Right now, I believe it will come sometime that you can publish just the photos. But right now, the collectors, the audience needs a little bit more to it. A single photo, a single image is not good enough for NFT, in my opinion. You need to learn maybe After Effects and Premiere and Cinema 4D, other programs, so that you can give something more to the photo, keeping the photo as it is, but you can maybe make some animation, some moving parts from the photo. Don't put something that is not yours in it. It needs always to be from your work. That is what personally I felt. I believe that I don't know when, but I hope sooner than later, people will realize that just a single photo by itself is a piece of art. And
Absolutely.
but right now, there is a platform that is only for photography, which is good guys. I spoke with them, very good guys, but ephemera. And unfortunately, I don't see I don't see much action because it's just photos and also if you are a photographer, not to be absolutely arrogant or anything, but you need to be not an amateur. If you enter this space, you need to be someone with some credentials, some background, because it's becoming harder and harder to get in. And so try to, my advice, not to the big guys, but to those who want to enter, is try also to apply to some contests for photography. Try to get some awards, something, and move into the NFT space, because I believe the NFT space now is a little bit in a bubble. And it will maybe blow up sometime, and only the real ones will survive, I think, is normal. So you need to have, I believe, a background to prove who you are.
Yeah. So in addition to having some kind of background, it's maybe something about your work is that stands out, that shows that you have a style or a way of telling a story that's authentically you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is not easy, but you need to do something like that. You need to have a background, do something that is different from the others, and push it. And also apply to all the platforms you can. Okay, the big ones are very difficult sometimes because they are overwhelmed with applications. But there are some new ones coming, like I think Terra Virtua is doing something good, and other ones are doing something good, Foundation and others. So maybe people can get in there at the beginning. Oh, this one, I will do a piece also for you. I know you love this. You love the Sardinia people. I will get a piece done for this. Is very nice people and very nice place. And I don't know if you have been there.
I've been there quite a few times. I used to go once a year for a music festival in San Teodoro.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a magical island. It really holds a special place in my heart, and there's so much history there. And it's really cool, Sardinia. Can't wait to go back.
Crazy people, I love them.
So I can't believe we're past the hour. This conversation went so fast. It was really interesting hearing about your life and your experience going to all these places and getting to know people and their lives. So do you have any upcoming projects or collaborations that we should know about?
Yes, I'm doing right now a collaboration with another artist that is on your radar, which is George Boya. And
Awesome.
yeah, I love the guy. He's such a nice person. And I finished my part right now and is working on it. I think we will come out in April with probably an async piece, and is going to be most likely the first one of my documentary series. So it's the one about women in Vietnam. You should have the series here, and yeah, that one, yeah. Portraits of Strength, Ethnic Women in Vietnam, which I think is going to be very interesting because we have two completely different styles. I mean, I do reality, it does surreal. So it's going to be fun. That is one project. And after that, I'm doing this month, I come out with another piece for the Wabi-Sabi Series, but this time is based on Lake Garda in Italy. And that piece is probably going to be also announced on a new big virtual gallery from Hong Kong. And I'll probably start coming out with some single images animated about documentary, and moving out of the Wabi-Sabi and into documentary. And as a final thing, I don't know when, in a few months, the Beauty in Hell will probably come out.
That's really exciting. And George Boya is in the chat too. He said that we're going to surprise you and it'll be very surreal, but well planned.
Go on, George. You are a very nice guy. I love what you do. I really do. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, amazing talent. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what you guys create together.
Me too. I haven't seen it, so it's also fun for me.
Those are the best kind of projects.
Yeah, I love it.
That's the best.
Because we told each other, whatever each one does, the other one does his own. So we will see what happens. We don't know.
Well, that's really exciting. And people can follow you on Twitter to find out when everything's happening, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We will share everything when we decide. But this is first time we speak about it, so we will see.
Yeah, and of course, any new projects you have, any drops, feel free to come into our Discord server and share it. You can put it in off topic, or if you have any works in progress. We love to support our artists that come on, and to hear what they're doing in the future. And so yeah, please do come back.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and thank you everybody for your awesome questions, for your presence, and we'll see you later. DC, take it away. Thanks.